Most students do a lot of practice when preparing for marks, but the truth is, doing more questions alone does not guarantee better marks. The real difference between an H2 and an H1 student is not intelligence, it is how they approach practice. So, today I'm going to share 5 key habits that would make you practice actually improve your performance in the exam. Okay, so the first one is accuracy. In maths, you rarely lose mark because you don't know the topic. Most marks are lost through small avoidable mistake, a sign error, a misstep, or a careless calculation. So your first goal should not be speed. Your goal should be accuracy. Take your time, write each step clearly, and double check your work. If you build accuracy now, and speed will naturally improve later. The H1 students are not just fast; they are consistently accurate. The second is understanding the concept. So many students try to memorize the steps or the methods. So this works only when the question is familiar. But in exams, questions are often slightly different. Examiners do not repeat the questions in Living Cert, they repeat patterns. So instead of asking, what do I do next? Start asking, why am I doing this step? So when you understand the concept behind the method, you can handle any variation of the question. So you don't just learn the question, but learn the idea behind it. The third one is learning from mistakes. So, this is the most important part of your practice. If you make a mistake and move on without analyzing it, you are very likely to repeat it in the exam. So, every mistake should be identified and understood. So, you can ask yourself, was it a concept issue or a careless mistake or an algebra error, or did I run out of time? Okay. Top students don't necessarily do more questions, but they improve faster because they learn from their mistakes. So your mistakes are your best teachers, but only if you pay attention to them. The fourth point which you need to note is the awareness of time. So many students know how to solve questions but struggle to finish the paper on time. So that's not a max problem, that's a strategy problem. So while practicing, always be aware about of time. Notice how long each question is taking. If you're spending too much time on a question, learn to move on and come back to it later. Finishing the paper is a skill, and like any skills, it needs to be practiced. So start practicing now, and you will see a major difference when you write an exam. Now, the last point I would like to represent is how to write an answer or how to present an answer clearly. So, the examiners can give marks for what they see on the page. So, even if your final answer is incorrect, you can still earn marks for the correct method, but only if your steps are clearly written. So, please make sure that you write your answers neatly and very legibly. So make sure that your work is easy to follow. Write neatly, show all the important steps, label the diagrams, and box your final answers. This will help the examiner give you marks. So don't hide your thinking. And one more thing, you should think like an examiner. I don't have a presentation, I have a slide for that, but just a tail tip. So after solving the question, don't just stop. So you can ask yourself, how could this question be made more difficult? Could they change a value, or they add a twist, or they can combine it with other topic? So this kind of thinking prepares you for a higher level questions and build real confidence. So as I said in the beginning, H1 students just don't solve their question, but they think like examiners. And if you consistently apply these 5 habits in your practice, your marks will improve drastically. And not because you worked harder, but or you worked smarter. So always focus on the quality and stay consistent and trust the process.